Once upon a time, in a small village nestled amongst the rolling hills and lush green forests, there lived a lady named Elara. Elara was known for her beauty and grace, but unfortunately she was also cursed with a foul body odor that seemed to cling to her no matter what she did. The villagers whispered amongst themselves, speculating about the cause of Elara's curse. Some believed it was the work of an evil sorcerer, while others thought it was a punishment from the gods for some unknown transgression. But the truth was far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. 4 generations ago, Elara's great-great-great-grandmother employed a maidservant who was treated terribly, overworked and underfed. One day, the maidservant succumbed to the mistreatment and passed on, but not before cursing Elara's ancestor. She said that any girl born in the family would be mistreated by nature with a body odor that would repel people away. After the curse was placed, no girls were born in the family for 3 generations. It wasn't until Elara came into the world as the 4th generation that the curse seemed to rear its ugly head. Elara was born with a foul body odor that no amount of washing or perfume could disguise. Despite her kind heart and gentle soul, people would shy away from her, shunning her presence. She lived a lonely life, always feeling rejected and isolated. Desperate to break the curse, Elara sought out the village wise woman who revealed the true cause of her affliction. The only way to lift the curse, she explained, was to bathe with calabasita flower, which can only be found in the forest between the living and the dead. Elara was hesitant at first, unsure of how to proceed, but deep down she knew what she had to do. Elara, with a determined heart, ventured into the forest to rid herself of a foul smell that had plagued her for so long. Creatures avoided her due to the stench, but she strangely found solace in their avoidance. Following an old map, Elara discovered a patch of special flowers said to break the curse on her family. She gathered 3 of these precious blooms, hoping that they held the key to her liberation. On her way back to the village, unexpectedly, she encountered an old woman who implored her for a flower to cure her malady. Elara, moved by compassion, handed over one of the flowers, reserving the other 2 for herself. Continuing her journey, a child crossed her path, tearfully requesting a flower to save a life. Without hesitation, Elara gave away another flower. Soon after, a pregnant woman pleaded for the last flower, claiming it was her only hope for survival. Torn between her own needs and the woman's desperation, Elara selflessly handed over the final flower. Suddenly, in the midst of a fierce lightning bolt, the pregnant woman transformed into a radiant maidservant. Overwhelmed by terror, Elara stood frozen as she realized a filthy rope was binding her in place. Without hesitation, the maidservant drew her sword and swiftly cut the rope, freeing Elara from her restraints. Introducing herself as Lila, The maid confessed to having once placed a curse on Elara's family, but now granted forgiveness due to Elara's kind actions. Lila shared her diverse identities as the village's wise woman, the old woman who approached her for the flower, the child, and of course the pregnant woman. She emphasized that the cure for the cause lay not in the flower, but in the acts of compassion. Despite holding a grudge against Elara's relatives since her passing, Lila acknowledged that Elara's pure heart had lifted the curse from them all. With her mission fulfilled, Lila bid Elara farewell and vanished. As soon as Elara noticed that her body odor had vanished after years of suffering, she couldn't contain her excitement. She immediately began examining herself from head to toe, checking her armpits, her hair, every inch of her skin, and couldn't believe the transformation that had taken place. Overwhelmed with joy, she dashed out of the forest and into the nearby village, jumping with delight at the newfound freedom from her foul smell. As she passed by the villagers, they too noticed the change in her scent and couldn't help but stare in amazement. Elara had always been known for her kind and compassionate nature, always putting others before herself. Little did she know that her selfless deeds had ultimately led to her own salvation. The villagers watched in awe as she danced her way through the streets, radiating happiness and a newfound sense of confidence. She knew that her acts of goodwill had truly paid off in the most unexpected way possible. Alright everyone, the story ends here. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in my next story. Have a good one.